Hello everyone, good morning, Standard 8. So, this is our second session for chapter 2. We have completed our first chapter. We have completed our second chapter, part 1. Now, this is part 2. Okay, name of the chapter: land, soil, water, natural vegetation and wildlife resources. Okay, so this is our part 2 for the chapter 2 of geography class 8. Okay, what had we learned in this chapter? What had we learned in this chapter? In the first part, we had seen about the land. Okay, what are these lands used for? We had seen that the land is used for agriculture. It is also used for building houses, buildings, roads, setting up industries. Okay, we had also seen that the land is the most important natural resource and it covers the 30% of the total area of the earth's surface, right? And we had seen that how can we conserve this land? Okay, how can we save the land? How can the land be saved? Okay, we had also seen that the land can be classified into two. Which were they? Private land and community land. Okay, the people and the demands of the people are increasing today also, and because of it the availability of land is becoming limited. Though it is limited, but because of the demands of the people, what have they started doing? For their use, they have started using the land which is good for agriculture, for the building purpose, for building roads, for building factories, industries. They have started cutting down the trees. And for this, what should we do? How should we conserve land? We had seen that we can conserve land by afforestation. Afforestation means growing more trees, no cutting of trees should be there. By land reclamation, we had also seen that by using less chemical pesticides and chemical fertilizers, we can conserve our land. We had also seen about the soil. Okay, we had seen the factors of the soil, means how is the soil formed? How is the soil formed? Okay, and we had seen the conservation methods of the soil. Which were they? They were mulching, contour barriers, rock dam, terrace farming, intercropping, contour plowing and shelter builds. These were some of the methods through which we can conserve soil. Okay, we can stop soil erosion. Such kind of points we had seen in part 1. Now in part 2, we will see about the water, problems of the water availability, conservation, how could we conserve the water resources which are there. Okay, we will see about the natural vegetation, what natural vegetations are there, about the wildlife. Okay, distribution of natural vegetation, how is natural vegetation distributed on this earth. And lastly, we would see how would we conserve this natural vegetation. Okay, our natural vegetation is getting spoiled, getting damaged, you can say, by the uses of the people. Now, how could we save this? Okay, wildlife conservation, because we know many of the animals are getting extinct, they are getting disappeared. How could we save them? Such kind of points we would see in this part 2. Okay, now let's talk something about water. We all know that water is a vital renewable natural resource. Okay, 3/4 of the earth's surface is covered with water. Therefore, our earth is known as the water planet. Okay. Now, it is therefore appropriate. It was in the primitive oceans that life began almost 3.5 million years back. Even today, the oceans cover 2/3 of the earth. Okay, we all know that the earth is covered, 3/4 of the part of the earth is covered by water, right? Only 1/4 part is the land. So from it, 2/3 part is only the ocean, and the ocean water is saline. Saline means salty. It is not fit for human consumption. Consumption means usage. Because the water is saline, we cannot use that water at all, neither for bathing, washing, cleaning, cooking. The sea water, ocean water cannot be used for any purpose. Okay, now only 2.7% of fresh water is available. Okay, only 2.7% of water is available. Nearly 70% of this occurs as ice sheets and glaciers. Now from this 2.7% also, most of the part of that is in the form of ice sheets and glaciers, which are very far from us: Antarctica, Greenland and mountain regions. Now due to their location, they are inaccessible, because they are so much far that we can't go and use that water. Okay, now only 1% of fresh water is available for human beings, fit for humans to use. It means that the 3/4 of the earth's surface that is covered by water, from it only 1% water is there which can be used by the humans. Okay, and it is found as in the groundwater, as surface of water in the rivers, lakes, etc. Okay, and that's why it is been said that the fresh water is the most precious substance on earth. It can neither be added nor be subtracted from the earth. Okay, its total volume remains constant. Its total volume remains constant, means 3/3 of the water or the water surface, it is there on the earth, from which 1% is the fresh water. Then it is going to be 1% only throughout your life. Okay, its abundance only seems to vary because it is in constant motion. And why it has been there? Because it is in continuous motion that the water cycle it is talking about right now here. Okay, cycling through the oceans, the air, land and back again. Okay, through the processes of evaporation, precipitation and runoff. This circle is called water cycle. Now why there is a constant water on the land? There is constant water on the land because of the water cycle. This water cycle is never going to stop. Okay, till there is water on the earth, the water cycle is going to continue. Okay, water is used for many purposes: agricultures, industries, generating electricities through reservoirs of dam. So water is used for many purposes. Okay, now here it's telling us that the fresh water on the earth is only 1%, so it should be used very carefully. Okay, now here we have seen about the water cycle, how is water there on the earth. Now what are the causes of the shortage of water on the earth? There is plenty of water on the earth, but then too every year the government is shouting like, or every year we just say save water, save water, save water. Now what is the reason of this shortage of water? The major cause of water shortage is increasing. Now it is increasing, why? Because of the population, increasing of population, rising demands of food. Okay, rising demands of food and cash crops, increasing urbanization, people coming and settling themselves in the cities. Okay, and rising standards of living, the way of living, the way the people are living. Okay, so these are the reasons because of the shortage of, these are the reasons, or you can say these are the causes of water shortage. Okay, so increasing population, rising demands or for food and cash crops, increasing urbanization and rising standards of living are the major factors leading to shortage in supply of fresh water, either due to drying up of water sources or water pollution. Now the other reason of the water shortage is water pollution also. We have the water on the land, but if that water is polluted, it cannot be used. Water cycle is available through the water cycle, as I have told you, okay, which is in a constant movement. It's going on. Whether any of the reason, this water cycle is going to continue till the universe is there. Okay, misuse and over exploitation led to the scarcity of water. We should not misuse the water. Use the water as much as you want. If you don't want it, just close off the tap. Don't keep the tap running. Okay, government had water conservation laws and has made laws against pollution of water. Now because of this shortage of water, government has made some laws so that the people could not pollute the water. Okay, people can conserve the water, and proper implementation is need of the hour. Right now we know the proper condition of water, so it is been said that the proper implementation is need of the hour. Means right now the main thing which is being needed is the conservation of water. Okay, next let's see about the problem of water availability. Okay, what kind of problems are we facing? There is scarcity of water in many regions of the world. Everywhere the water availability is not the same, or you can say not the equal. Okay, most of Africa, West Asia, South Asia, parts of Western USA, Northwest Mexico, parts of South America and entire Australia are facing shortage of fresh water supply. Means the water which can be used for their purpose, for drinking, main thing, mean drinking and cooking. Now these are the areas where there is too much shortage of water, no fresh water, or you can say less fresh water. Countries located in climatic zones are most susceptible in droughts and face great problems of water scarcity. Okay, now the problems of water availability, the one main thing is drought. Okay, and why there is drought? Because the countries which are located in the climatic zones, the zones about which we had talked, torrid zone, temperate zone and frigid zone. Now the country which come under the hot zones, that are the torrid zones, okay, they face most of the time water shortage. Why? Because of the drought. Drought means when there is very less rain or no rain at all. Such countries face great problems of water scarcity. Okay, now there is water shortage in many regions of the world. Now it may be a consequence of variation of season and annual precipitation, or the scarcity is caused by the over exploitation of or contamination of the water resources. Okay, first reason of the water scarcity, I have told you, it is because the country is located in the climatic zones. Now it depends upon the climatic zone. Now secondly, it can be the over exploitation, over usage of the water, or it can be water pollution also. So these are the reasons why there is problem of water availability, though we have the water in a large amount on this earth. Global warming and high pace of the industrialization also leads to raise the concern against clean water availability. Okay, global warming and high pace of industrialization. High pace of industrialization means growing of more industries. Okay, that is leading to the water pollution, and because of it we are not getting clean water. Okay, now we know all the reasons. We know how are we getting the water, we know how the water is getting contaminated, but is there any way of solution? Yes, it is the water conservation. How can we conserve the water resources? Let's see. The major problem of today's world is shortage of clean and adequate water. Right? Access to clean and adequate water source is the major problem facing by the world today. So what should be done? Steps have to be taken to conserve this dwindling resource. Steps should be taken to conserve this water. Water is a renewable resource. Renewable resource means we can get it back by the water cycle. But its overuse and pollution make it unfit to use. There is water on this land, but because of its overuse and the water pollution, the 1% water which is there for our use, it's unfit. Okay. Now how is this water getting polluted? Sewage, agricultural chemicals, industrial waste pollute the water with nitrates, metals and pesticides. And when such kind of chemical discharge is there in the water is not fit for any purpose. Neither bathing, nor cooking, nor drinking, nothing. So this is how the water gets polluted. Okay. They pollute water with nitrates, metals and pesticides. Now most of these chemicals are non-biodegradable and reach human bodies through Water. These chemicals, how do they reach the human bodies? They reach by the water, because we are not aware about these chemicals. Okay, and when we drink this water, it is harmful for our health. Water pollution can be controlled by treating these effluents suitably before releasing them in the water bodies. Okay, water pollution can be stopped, can be controlled if these effluents means which effluents? The chemicals, metals and the nutrients which are getting in, which are polluting the water. These effluents can be, if they can be stopped from releasing into the water bodies, they can be given the discharge to some other way. Either giving them the discharge in the water bodies which are being used for the human purpose. If the discharge of such chemicals are being given somewhere else, then the water can be used for human purpose very effectively. Okay. Forest and other vegetation cover slow the surface runoff and replenish underground water. Now, growing of more trees, forest we know it is full of trees, and other vegetations cover slow the surface runoff and replenish underground water. Water harvesting method can be used to save surface runoff, means the water, rainwater, here it is talking about the rainwater. Okay, the rainwater can be stored by the water harvesting method. Okay, this is also one kind by which we can save water. Okay. The canals used for irrigating field should be properly lined up to minimize losses of water seepage. Okay, canals used for irrigation should be properly checked for water losses through seepage and evaporation. Now these, they are telling the methods of conservation of water. How can we conserve water? How can we save water? Rainwater harvesting is the process of collecting rainwater from rooftops and directing it into an appropriate location where it is stored for future use. This is called rainwater harvesting. Recycling of plants can be installed to conserve water and to stop wastage. Okay. Now, in dry regions with high rates of evaporation, drip or trickle irrigation is very useful in the dry areas where there is very less rain. Okay, drip and trickle irrigation can be done. Now, what is drip and trickle irrigation? Now, drip and trickle irrigation means, in this, it is a system that comprises main line, sub-mains, laterals, valves, drippers, emitters, power gauges, water meters, filters, okay, and removes all debris like sand, clay, to reduce clogging of the emitters. Okay, now this trickle irrigation, it saves water, okay, and enhances plant growth and crop yield, saves labor and energy, and controls weed growth, causes no soil of erosion, does not require land preparation, okay, and also improves fertilizer application efficiency. This method of dripping and trickle irrigation does have some economic and technical limitations, and it requires high skill in design, installation and subsequent operation. Means drip and trickle irrigation is also one type of you can say by which we can conserve water, because by dripping and trickle irrigation, the water is used 1 to 10 liters per hour. Means very less usage but in a proper way. Okay, better irrigation facility should be developed to conserve water. This can be said as better irrigation facilities can be developed. Drip and trickle irrigation is also one type of an irrigation facility, and this can help to conserve water. Okay, so here we have seen about water and how can we conserve water. Now let's talk about natural vegetation and wildlife. Natural vegetation and wildlife exist only in the biosphere. Okay, between the lithosphere, hydrosphere and atmosphere, that we call the biosphere. We have learned about all the layers of the atmosphere, earth. Okay, everything we have learned. In the biosphere, living beings are interrelated and interdependent on each other. We have also seen, right? The narrow zone that of contact between the lithosphere, hydrosphere and atmosphere is biosphere. And on this biosphere, there are the living beings, whether it is animals, human beings, plants, all are interrelated, or you can say interdependent on, depending on each other for the survival. Okay, and this life supporting system is called ecosystem. Right, now plants provide us with timber means wood. Okay, shelter to the animals, and then they produce oxygen, they protect the soil for growing crops. Okay, and they also act as shelter belts. They give us fruits and vegetables, help in the storage of underground water, right? So this is our natural vegetation. Here it's telling us how is the natural vegetation helping us, or how is it useful for us, right? Natural vegetation is also important because, as we have seen, that the living beings on the biosphere, in the biosphere, are interrelated and depending on each other. We have seen that the plants give us everything. They give us wood, they give the shelter to the animals, they give fruits, they give vegetables, they help in erosion, they help in growing of the crops, they help in storage of the underwater. Means this is how we are depending on each other. Okay, as we have seen the plant life, or the plants providing us with providing us with wood, shelter, oxygen, crops, fruits, vegetables, everything. Okay, now here we are looking at the wildlife. Now we are talking about the wildlife. The wildlife includes what? Everything. You cannot talk only about the animals. The wildlife includes animals, birds, insects and aquatic forms, life forms also. Aquatic life forms means the animals living in the water. Okay, fish, crocodile, whale, penguin, many things. Now what do these animals provide us? These animals provide us with milk, meat, hides and wool. Okay, they help in the pollination of flower, the butterfly and many other insects, right? They act as a decomposer in the ecosystem. Here we are talking about these things because it is telling us how we are depending on each other. Okay, natural vegetation is a renewable resource, but its judicial use is must. Though we know natural resources is given by nature, but its usage should be done in a proper way. We know it's renewable. The trees are going to grow on its own. Right? But then too its use should be in a judicial use. If not utilized in proper manner, it would lead to loss of life and further more calamities. If there are no trees or if there is no natural vegetation left for the future, it can lead to many calamities. Many calamities means it can be said like, example if I give you, there can be less rain because of no trees or no rain at all. If there would be no rain, then no water. Wildlife and natural vegetation make a deep connection. So preservation of both can be done simultaneously. Means they both are of wildlife and natural vegetation are in the deep connection with each other. So if we want to preserve both of them simultaneously. Okay, you know that on our earth there are herbivorous animals also, right? These herbivorous animals eat up the plants or the leaves of the trees, you can say. Now this is the way they are in a deep connection with each other. Now if these herbivorous animals are not there, or you can say they are not preserved, then whole of the earth will be covered with trees, plants and everything. So there is a deep connection between this wildlife and natural vegetation. So we have to preserve this. Now how is this natural vegetation distributed on our earth? The growth of vegetation depends primarily on temperature and moisture. The major vegetation types of the world are grouped as forests, grasslands, scrubs, tundra are the major type of vegetations. Right? Now the vegetation, the growth of the vegetation depends on the temperature and the moisture. Now if I give you an example, if we talk about Rajasthan, our Rajasthan has a very high temperature and it is counted in dry area. Now because of this, we can say that here vegetation is very less. Why? Because less water. Okay. Now these vegetations can be classified in different types. They can be in the form of forest, dense forest, grassland where only grass on the plain lands, scrubs. Okay. It can be counted as this way. Now forests are associated with areas having abundant water supply. These areas have heavy rainfall and huge trees. Now forest, if we talk about forest, which area? It can be said as the area where there is too much of rain, heavy rains, and because of heavy rains there are huge trees and greeneries. So it can be said in the area of heavy rainfall, huge trees may thrive because of the plenty of rain. Okay, we can see huge trees in these such areas. The forests are thus associated with areas having abundant water supply. As the amount of moisture increases, the size of the tree and their density reduces. Okay, now talking about the grassland. Grassland are areas having short stunted trees and grasses grown in the regions of moderate rainfall. Moderate rainfall means neither the rainfall is too high, neither the rainfall is too low. Okay, so grasslands are the areas having very short stunted trees. Okay, as the amount of the moisture decreases, means as the rain decreases. Now if we go towards the area where there is less rain, then we will see that the size of the trees also starts decreasing. Okay, and the density reduces. Density means in the forest you will see the trees very near to each other, but as you move to the area where there is very less rain, or you can say moderate rain, you will see the area, open area there. So grassland is such type of an area where you will find very short stunted trees, okay, and grass is grown in the regions. The size of the trees in the grassland will be very short, okay, and the density will be very less. Now moving to the shrubs. Thorny shrubs or scrubs grow in dry areas of low rainfall. As we have talked about Rajasthan, okay, I had given you an example of Rajasthan. So thorny shrubs and scrubs grow in the area where there is very less rain. The plants of this region have deep roots. Now you can say, ma'am, if there is no rain, how do these scrubs or shrubs they survive? They survive with the help of their deep roots. Their roots are so deep inside the ground that they use the water from the ground to survive. The plants of this region have deep roots and leaves with thorny and waxy surface that helps reduce loss of moisture through transparency. Okay, so this is the reason why the vegetation, the distribution of vegetation is different, because it is depending on the temperature and the moisture. More rain, trees will be huge, okay, and dense. Moderate rain, trees will be of, the size of the trees will decrease and the density will reduce. And same, if the rainfall is low, then it will be an open area. Open area means very less trees, and that trees will have the roots going deep into the ground. Okay. More, let us talk about tundra, or you can say evergreen and deciduous forest. What are those? Tundra vegetation is of cold polar regions. Okay, what is grown there? There mosses and lichens are grown. Mosses and lichens are grown in the tundra vegetation. Okay, now forests are then broadly classified. We have talked about the forest. Now these forests are broadly classified into evergreen and deciduous forest. Okay, evergreen forest means the trees in the evergreen forest do not shed their leaves in any of the seasons. Okay, do not shed their leaves in any of the seasons. And deciduous forest shed their leaves in particular season to conserve loss of moisture through transparency. Evergreen, by the word evergreen only we can understand, means it never dies. So what are evergreen forest? In the evergreen forest, the trees never shed their leaves simultaneously in any of the season of the year. They remain green throughout the year. And in deciduous forest, the trees shed their leaves in particular season. Okay, and why do they do this? They to conserve the loss of moisture through transparency. Right? Now in India, mostly green, evergreen and deciduous forests are found, which are the rich source of timber and forest produce. Now the needs of our for furniture and for household use. Okay, we get the timber from these evergreen and deciduous forests. Other forest produce means for medicinal use and for other purposes. Also, these evergreen and deciduous forests help us in giving the produce. Okay, in Himalayan regions of India, mixed forests are found according to their altitude. Okay, such as taiga, evergreen forest and deciduous species are found. Fine. I'll show you a picture where you can understand what is grassland, where the trees are the size of the tree is different from the size of the trees in the forest. Okay, have a look on it. Now this is the grassland and forest. You can see grassland is an open place where it is only covered with grass, or you can say they are very short in size, right? And same you can see the forest, the area of the forest where the trees are huge, they are dense means very nearby to each other. So this is the grassland and the forest. How does it look like? Where there is too much of rain or heavy rain, you will see the size of the trees very huge. Where there is moderate rain, means no heavy rain, no low rain, the rainfall is moderate, there it will be grassland. Okay, now talking about this grassland, or you can say about our natural vegetation and wildlife, you know, we have to conserve them also, because the forests are our wealth. We are getting many forest produce as the form of timber also, in the form of medicine also, and in other purposes also we are getting the forest. We are getting many things from the forest. So the forest is our wealth. How can we conserve this natural vegetation and wildlife? Forests are our wealth. Plants give us shelter to the animals, and together they maintain the ecosystem also, right? Change of climate and human interferences can cause to the loss of natural habitats of the plants and animals. Now because of the change in the climate and because of the human interference means in what sense? Human interference means we human, for our purpose, we are cutting down the trees, right? We are building the factories and industries. Because of the pollution, the trees are getting damaged, or you can say the forests are getting damaged. Deforestation, because of the deforestation, and this is called the human interference, and this is causing the loss of natural habitats for the plants and animals. Means we are cutting down the trees, we are doing deforestation, and because of it the habitat, the house of the animals are getting less, right? Other thing, poaching means hunting. Hunting is one of the major concern which results in the sharp decline in the number of particular species, right? Only for the purpose of entertainment or for our selfishness we are doing hunting. We are hunting the animals, right? And because of which a number of particular species are getting extinct, getting disappeared. So now we have to conserve this. We have to save the wildlife. We have to save the natural vegetation. If not done, then it can cause to the loss of natural habitat. One such time will occur on the earth when we will see that there are no trees at all. Now why are the animals being poached? Poached means why they are being hunted. They are being hunted for the collection of skin, nails, they have been sold on a very high price. Teeth, horns, feathers. Means in the wildlife, not only the animals but the birds are also being hunted. The birds are being hunted for the purpose of feathers. Their feathers are being sold on a high rate, high price. Okay. And because of this, many species, or you can say varieties of animals, have become vulnerable and endangered, and some are on the verge of extinction. Extinction means some are on such an extent that they are going to disappear in further future. Deforestation, soil erosion, constructional activities, forest fires, tsunami and landslides are some of the human and natural factors which accelerate the process of extinction of these resources. Right? Now, here it's trying to say that how can these natural vegetation or wildlife get extinct? How can these resources get extinct? They can get extinct by natural way also and by the humans also. So the best way is to conserve them. The best way is to conserve them. Okay, we have talked about the hunting also. Poaching. Poaching means hunting. The hunting of animals is being done only for the collection or illegal trading of their skin, nails, teeth, feather and horns, etc. Right? Now, how can we conserve this? To protect our natural vegetation and wildlife, national parks, wildlife sanctuaries and biosphere reserves are being made. Okay? Now, what do these national parks, wildlife sanctuaries and biosphere reserves do? How do they conserve them? Now, what are these wildlife sanctuaries and national parks? What do they do? In wildlife sanctuary, it is an area where animal habitats and their surroundings are protected from any sort of disturbance. Means in the wildlife sanctuary, no hunting can be done. Okay? We can save the animals from getting hunted. The capturing, killing and poaching of animals is strictly prohibited in these regions. And the aim of wildlife sanctuary is to provide a comfortable living to the animals. Okay, so this is wildlife sanctuary, or you can say national parks or biosphere reserves. Now, what is biosphere reserves? Biosphere, we know it is a narrow zone, right? In the biosphere reserve promotes solution, reconciling the conversion of homobiosphere, you can say. Okay. Now, biosphere reserve can also be said as they are the areas of terrestrial and coastal ecosystem promoting solutions. Now, biosphere reserves also promote the solutions on what? On solution of the conservation of biodiversity. I mean, how are they going to save the lithosphere, the hydrosphere? Biosphere reserves does all these things. Okay, they serve in some ways as living laboratories, you can say. Okay, so these all are the, you can say, like awareness programs type, where they are trying to save the universe. Where they are trying to save the universe. Okay. Now, other awareness programs are also being done by the government to conserve the natural vegetation and wildlife. Now, what are they? They are social forestry. Social forestry means they encourage the people to grow more trees. One Mahotsav is been held in which they plant more trees, okay, and encouraged at the regional and community level. Okay, now it has also been said that it is the ethical duty of every citizen to conserve plant and animal. It is a duty of each and every person living in this world, okay, that they should conserve the plants and animals. Okay, like this, many countries have also passed laws against the trade as well as killing of birds and animals. In India, killing lion, tiger, deers and great Indian bustards and peacocks is illegal. India has also taken some legal actions about it. Okay, also put down some laws under Article 48A of the Indian Constitution. Forest conservation has made a directive principle. Okay, inclusion of forest and environment in Constitution make the government of India liable to take the step in this direction. Now, because this right has been written, this article has been written in the Constitution, the government is liable to take the step in such direction. Means if they come to know about the deforestation or cutting of the trees or poaching of the animals, they can immediately take action. They have to take the step in this direction immediately. Okay. Now, talking about the national park, I know you may have visited or some may have not visited any of the national park, but here I can give you only a small look on Kaziranga National Park. Let's have a look. This is Kaziranga National Park, where the animals can roam here and there, you can say, okay, because there is their house, there is their home, inhabited. Nobody can stop them, and without any fear of hunting, without any fear of killing, they can live there. Okay, because these national parks are being made to save them. These national parks are being made to save them, because I have told you that national parks, or you can say wildlife sanctuaries, are being made to protect the natural vegetation and wildlife. Okay, so in the national parks, the animals feel very safe. Okay, so this is Kaziranga National Park, where you are seeing the elephants and the cheetahs. Cheetahs means it is one species of deer. Okay. Now this is the end of the chapter, in which we have seen conservation of land, conservation of soil, conservation of water, conservation of wildlife and natural vegetation. Okay. After knowing so much, now let's know something else also. In 1975, do you know that in 1975 the consumption of water for human was 3,850 cubic kilometer per year. Consumption means usage. Do you know that? In the whole year, cubic, not liters. It is more than. Okay. So in 1975, the consumption of water for humans was 3,850 kilometers per year. Next, do you know what is a panda? It is an animal. But have you ever seen a baby panda? No? At the birth, means when the baby panda born, okay, it is very smaller than the mouse. You have seen a mouse, a rat. Okay, now the rat is very small. Now the baby panda, when it takes birth, it is smaller than that mouse also. Did you know about it? No? Now you have known it. Okay. Next, wound. What is wound, you know? Wound means when you get some injury, it starts bleeding, when you are hurt. Whenever you are hurt or whenever you have a wound, put some sugar on it. Okay? What will happen? Two things will happen. First thing, it will reduce your pain. By putting the sugar on the wound, it will reduce your pain. And secondly, the healing process will also speed up. Good thing, na? Nobody wants wound. I don't like to be get hurt. But now we have come to know that if we are hurt, if it starts bleeding, too much of bleeding or too much of pain, the first thing which is to be done, we have to put some sugar on that wound. So two things will be done. It will reduce your pain and it will speed up your healing process. Okay? Next, you must have heard the different names of the cities, na? Now, which is the longest name which you have heard? Thiruvananthapuram with 28 letters, right? But the longest place name in the world is 85 letters long. It is 85 letters. I have given that word here. Can you pronounce it? You can spell it out. TAUMATAWHAKATANGIHANGAKO AUA, like this 85 letters of this place. It is the name of a place, and this place is in New Zealand. New Zealand has the longest named place with 85 letters. Unfortunately, this is one of the fact you probably can't repeat to your friends, and that's because it's nearly impossible to pronounce. And this 85 letter long name place is in New Zealand. Like these, there are still many places, from which one is in the Wales, other is in the US, in South Africa and in Spain. There are still 4 more places with such names and such long names of many letters. Okay? Something new about which you did not know? You must have not thought also, right? That the 85 letters name will be there. It is there. Now you must have seen the expiry dates on some things, na? Whenever you bring some packed things, there are some expiry dates on it. Whether it is a packet of a biscuit, or you can say the chips or jam or anything. You must have seen these expiry date on the bottled water also. Whether you bring the Bisleri water or anything, right? Now, do you know that the expiry dates on the bottled water have nothing to do with the water? We just look at the expiry date and we leave that bottled water there. Why? Because the water is expired. But the water never gets expired, my dear. Water can't expire. But the bottle in which the water is can. Water never gets expired. The expiry date which has been written on it, it is about the bottle. Okay? Plastic bottles will eventually start leaking chemicals into the water. Okay? So that's why the expiry date which has been written, it has been written for the bottle, not for the water. It won't make the water harmful to drink, but it will make it taste less fresh. So now you have come to know that the expiry date written on the bottled water is not for the expiry of the water, but it is for the expiry of the plastic bottle. Okay? Next, now let's play some riddle. Okay? Why is 6 afraid of 7? Can you reply me? Why is 6 afraid of 7? Answer me. It's just like a game. Studying of the whole day. Something like now games. Let's play. Why is 6 afraid of 7? Do you know? Because 7, 8, 9. 7, 8, 9. 8 means here the digit 8. But if we look at the action 8, 7, 8, 9. Because the 7, 8, 9, 6 is afraid of the 7. Okay? Next. How can you make 7 even? 7 is an odd number, but you have to make it even. It is a riddle. How can you do it? By removing the S. Removing the S. Remove the S from the 7. What remains? E-V-E-N. It's even. So this is how 7 can be made even. Isn't it interesting? Now after these interesting facts, let's have a look on the vocabulary. So now for the vocabulary, what is the first word? The first word is depletion. D-E-P-L-E-T-I-O-N. Depletion means reduction in the number of quantity or something. Okay? Next, mulching. M-U-L-C-H-I-N-G. Mulching. Mulching means material spread around or over a plant to enrich or insulate the soil. Mulching means material spread around or insulate the spread around or over a plant to enrich or insulate the soil. Next, contour. An outline representing or bounding the shape or form of something. Contour. Write down. Contour means an outline representing or bounding the shape to form of something. Next is trench. T-R-E-N-C-H. Trench. Trench means a long narrow ditch. Ditch means narrow and long. It is long. Ditch means it is a hole, but not in a round form, but it is in a long form. Okay? Trench, a long narrow ditch. Next, replenish. R-E-P-L-E-N-I-S-H. Replenish means fill up again. Replenish means to fill up again. Next, susceptible. S-U-S-C-E-P-T-I-B-L-E. Susceptible means likely or liable to be influenced or harmed by a particular thing. Susceptible means likely or liable to be influenced or harmed by a particular thing. Our last word is ethical. Ethical means morally good or correct. Ethical means morally good or correct. Now I repeat all the words, only the words. Just check it once more. You have not missed anything. First, depletion, mulching, contour, trench, replenish, susceptible and ethical. Now let's have a look on the exercise. So the first question is a fill in the blank. Water is a vital dash natural resource. Water is a vital dash natural resource. So that is renewable. Okay. Water is a vital, renewable, natural resource. Okay. Next question. List the major factors that are responsible for the pollution of water. You have to give the list of factors which are responsible for the pollution of water. Now, which are those? Discharge of untreated and partially treated sewage, agricultural chemicals, and industrial effluents in water bodies. Okay, these are the major factors that are responsible for the pollution of water. I repeat again, discharge of untreated or partially treated sewage, agricultural chemicals, and industrial effluents. Okay, next, what is ecosystem? What is ecosystem? So the answer is, in the biosphere, living things are interrelated and interdependent on each other for survival. This life supporting system is known as ecosystem. Okay, what is the answer? What is ecosystem? The answer is, in the biosphere, living beings are interrelated and interdependent on each other for survival. This life supporting system is known as ecosystem. Okay, next, name the two factors on which the growth of vegetation depends. What is the question? The question is, name the two factors on which the growth of vegetation depends. So the answer is, the growth of vegetation depends on temperature and moisture. Temperature and moisture. Okay. Name some awareness programs to save our natural vegetation and wildlife. Name some awareness programs. Which type of awareness programs? They are social forestry and Van Mahotsav. Social forestry and Van Mahotsav. Okay. Name some awareness programs to save our natural vegetation and wildlife. You can write down Van Mahotsav and social forestry. Name a national park in India. This answer to be done by you. This answer is to be done by you, because in GK I have given you 10 national parks, right? You have to write any one of these here. Okay. Forests are our dash. Forests are our wealth. Forests are our wealth. Okay. And the last one is, conservation of plants and animals is an dash duty of every citizen. Is an ethical duty. Is an ethical duty of every citizen. Conservation of plants and animals is an ethical duty of every citizen. Okay. So by this we come to an end of chapter 2 of geography for 8th standard. Okay, we have completed this chapter in 2 parts. Now you have to learn the question answers. Okay, these are the question answers which are internal. Now from the next session, I will give you the question answers of the chapters which we have completed. Means the exercises which are behind the chapters. Okay, before starting the new chapters, you have to write down now the exercises. These exercises which we have done for all the chapters till now are not enough for you. Okay, so till that time, just take care of your health and goodbye.